I'm Michael Sazin from Parrot.com, and Kili, Truman, and Santina are going to help me answer some of your questions today. Alright, Sydney Leach asked, would Truman act like he's bigger with Santina if he's afraid or startled? I don't think so. Truman he doesn't really get bothered or startled by her. He just acts like she's not there and just does his own thing, and that's how he ends up getting in her way. I don't think Truman thinks he's stronger and more aggressive. So I think the way that he ends up being bold is more in a naive and dummy way than intentional like Kili might when she's attacking Truman. Claudia Vasquez asks, how did you train them to go outside? My lovebird gets scared every time I take him outside. He is scared with everything and wants to run away. Well, the key to this is building it up in small stages. I would take my birds out in carriers, then take them out longer in carriers, then take them outside in a harness just a little bit and then longer, so they just got progressively used to being outside. Belinda Ortiz asks, I want to know if they ever scream and won't shut up or always well behaved. In your videos they seem very quiet. Well, right now they're quiet because it's about midday and this is usually when they're quiet. I try to do my videos when I know they're going to be quieter. Also, they're generally pretty quiet during training sessions because they're focused on training. However, they will get noisy in the morning and the evening, especially before I'm ready to train them. They're going off, particularly this one right here. He'll be screaming his butt off for attention. I tried my best not to reward him. But they're generally quiet when throughout the day and when I need them to be. So it can be a bit noisy, but it's not too bad. Justin Sweet asks, I always had some questions on your holding technique. I know I have seen my avian veterinarians using similar techniques and was just curious how you were doing it and what areas you were putting pressure on to maintain grip and control. Well, we'll do a little demonstration. When I'm holding a bird of smaller size, I put 2 fingers around the neck and then put my hand on to support the rest of the weight. As you can see, it doesn't really bother them to be held by the neck. They have very strong necks, they're calcified, and they can grab onto a perch and pull themselves up by their neck. So if I incorporate my hand and support the weight, then it's even more comfortable. So I can be holding the neck so that they can't turn, bite, or do anything. Even if it's just something as simple as petting or playing with their beak or playing with their feet, and I don't need to have them restrained. I do this so that when I do need to have them restrained, that they're already familiar and comfortable with that. With a slightly bigger bird, come here, Joe. Hey, bud. Same deal, 2 fingers around the neck, maintains full control, and then I use the rest of my fingers in the body. And I generally lean them on their back. They get more relaxed on their back, and the weight can be supported on my hand. But if need be, I can be holding it by the neck alone. Hey, Tina, come here. Come here, birdie. And with a big bird, it's the same deal. It's just that you need to have some bigger fingers and get a good hold. But while with a smaller bird, you can grab them just by the back. With the big bird, that's not going to happen. Neck's the thinnest place, and that's the one place you can get your entire hand around their neck and hold them with a single hand. Thanks, Tina. Thanks for showing us. Hey, bud. Laura Davis Shannon asks, it always fascinates me what sounds parrots choose to mimic. What sounds or words have you or 3 chosen to mimic, and what of each other's sounds do they mimic? Well, Kili and Truman both mimic each other's screams, which doesn't thrill me, but they do. Otherwise, Kili says hello. She'll do a couple of whistles and chirps, some clicking sounds like that, just copying me, not really a big deal. Truman, he says hey cutie when he wants food and attention, but he'll also actually say give me a kiss when he thinks no one's listening, and he'll do a wolf whistle, and he'll also mumble some words like Truman and Kili and go to perch, but he doesn't do those very well. He only does those when he thinks no one's looking and not really when I'm around. Santina, it turns out, can say hi, and she always says it when I least expect it, so I can't get it on camera at all because I'll walk by and she'll say hi, turn around, run, grab the camera, and then she will be mute for a week until she'll do it again. A common question I got, and here's the one from Mark Jackson, is do any of them display jealousy while you're showing attention to another bird? And I would say not really. At first, initially, there may have been some, particularly between Kili and Truman, but it's something I've been working toward for 4 years since I've had him, and that really helps. And that said, there they go. Kili, come here. Now, I don't have too much of a jealousy problem because of the way that the birds feel and the way they're brought up and their attitude toward me. Since Kili is the most bonded to me probably of the three, I generally give her more preference and priority. As long as she has it, she's much less likely to attack or be involved with the other birds. Truman, on the other hand, he's a more hands-off, independent bird. He wants to go around doing his own thing, so that works out. Give Kili more attention, let Truman go out and do his own thing. And Santina's just really big and lazy, and I can give her attention and then not, and it just works out on its own. That said, I do take the birds out individually and independently sometimes. Sometimes I'll take just one of the birds for a walk with me, and that way I can give them one-on-one time without creating jealousy with the other birds. So it's a blend. It's a way. It's about training them together. It's about teaching them to be cooperative together, teaching them not to have reasons to fight with each other. And then when I'm giving them really personal attention, doing it in ways when the other birds are either occupied or one-on-one, where the other birds can't get involved and get jealous. Alex Ward asks, what do you do for screaming fits? Sometimes ignoring my GCC isn't effective. The ignoring technique, not reinforcing screaming is really a long-term thing. It's not going to make the screaming go away in the short term at this moment, so that's something for the long term. However, in the short term, there's really not that much you can do. I try to keep the birds in a different room so that they wouldn't bother me too much if they do have a screaming fit. And worst comes to worst, or when I was living in the previous apartment and there was no way to get away from noise, I'd use earplugs.
And that's how a fight usually goes down. Good job, guys. Kili, you being a brat again? Come here. You'll be good.
Nancy Jane Bailey asks, I'm interested in motivation for training. My severe is not interested in working for food. Even if I train in the morning before she's fed, sometimes she will work for attention. Well, there's nothing wrong about working the bird for attention and doing training for attention. The birds like it. Hey, Tina, you want some attention? Good bird. Hi. So if the bird is motivated by that, use what they're motivated by. However, to build better motivation for food, it's a matter of managing the food and also teaching the bird to be used to it. So just because you administrate some food management for 1 or 2 days doesn't mean the bird gets hungry enough or even knows what's going on or knows to work for its food. As you do this for a longer period of time, they become more accustomed to it and they have a better sense of what to do. For more information about managing food and motivation in general, check out my book, Parrot Wizard's Guide to Well-Behaved Parrots. AJ Cootie asks, does it get loud having 3 parrots? And if it does, what do you do to calm them down? Well, not too bad in the middle of the day, in the morning, and sometimes in the evening. It's mostly just Truman going off, and sometimes Kili joins in by imitating him. Santina is generally a quiet bird. She might let off 1 or 2 screams, but she's actually the least noisiest. I would say Truman's the most, and this is why I just have them in a separate bird room and let them sound off and do their thing. Another element that I do is I exercise them a lot. I flight train them, I make them work hard. So after that, they're pretty tired and worn out. They're much more likely to just sit and be calm and relaxed and not want to make so much noise. Marianne Duchesne asks, how do you introduce new fruits and vegetables to your parrots? Well, something like this. Look at that, Truman. It's really good. You can check out that article for more information on that. Lilith Marlene asks, I would like to know how much work they are, not just the training, but the keeping. And on one hand, it's a lot, and on the other hand, it's not as much as you think. So it's a lot of training, it's a lot of spending time together, going outside, going on trips. It's a lot of cleaning, but on the other hand, it's what I like doing, so it's not too much. It's hard to quantify, but it's manageable for someone who's passionate about birds. She also wants to know how many toys do they destroy regularly and how often do you have to replace their toys? Who is the messiest bird? I'm guessing Santina because she's a big birdie. Actually, I'd say Truman's by far the messiest, not only in terms of how destructive he is, but he's messy with food and poop and just about everything. But Truman destroys way more toys than the other 2 combined. Santina's had most of these toys since I built the stand, and I've been rotating some of them. But most of the damage done on here is from when Truman gets to stay out and play with her toys, actually. Thanks for your questions and for watching. Visit trainparrot.com for articles about parrot training, parrotwizard.com for parrot supplies and merchandise. Leave your comments and questions for the future below, and see you next time.